Welcome to Pubcast Live. I'm Ken Thomas, along with my buddy Thor. Pubcast Live is the podcast where we celebrate America's love affair with bars, pubs, and breweries. This is episode 12. Thor, this is going to be a fantastic show. We have a crowded studio today.
The most people we've ever had in this studio.
Yeah, and Luke is over there mixing up something. Chef Matt has something in a box over there for us.
Yeah, and Terry's just smiling, watching both of them getting ready.
I know. This should be fun. So we're talking about Luke, Terri, and Matt from The Woods, which is an amazing, I'm going to say, complex.
Yeah, it's just a whole facility, and it's amazing how much they got going on.
Restaurant, event center. They have actually motel space for the people want to stay if they have a wedding there. But B-Merri at the Woods Gastro Pub is, I think, where we're going to kind of focus. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Food, signature cocktails, all kinds of fun stuff there.
Let's see what he's got for us.
Let's get after this because those drinks are looking pretty good. All right. We will get to our interview with our friends from the Woods right after this. Pubcast Live is brought to you by Giovanni's Frozen Pizza. Great frozen pizza with over 20 varieties to choose from. Here's one you want to try, the double sausage, twice the sausage of the original. If you like sausage, you're going to like the double sausage from Giovanni's. Giovanni's Pizza, available at bars all over central Minnesota. Just ask for it by name, Giovanni's Frozen Pizza. Thor, it is time to visit with our guests here on this episode of Pubcast Live.
What guests? I don't see any guests in this big studio.
In our luxurious podcast studios, we've managed to fill the place up here today.
Oh, my gosh.
This is kind of fun, though. We have Luke and Terri Ebnet with us, the owners of The Woods, and Matt Annand, who is the chef partner as well. First of all, folks, welcome to Pubcast Live.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thor and I, again, this is another one of the places we've managed to stop many times after golf. Let's see, I had a daughter married there once. So
Yes, you did.
You did.
I was there. It was great.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a wonderful place. Terri, let's start with you. For our listeners that don't know where The Woods is.
He did it again.
He did it again.
Uh-oh.
This guy
I'm
is
famous
terrible.
for doing
We brought
this.
something that we thought you would enjoy.
Oh.
What are we looking at here,
Yeah.
Terry?
We are looking at like a signature lemon drop martini.
Oh, my gosh.
And Luke and I are like these lemon drop connoisseurs. And so we have traveled a lot of places. So we really like the one that we have here. So we would like to get your thoughts on it, okay?
Very good. And
So how about a
we're gonna
cheers?
cheer everybody. It might take us a minute here, but
Okay.
we're going to...
Cheers.
Oh, can you hear that? Here we go.
Cheers.
Colonel Clink.
Lemon
Oh,
drop.
they-
Colonel Clink
Colonel
is in
Clink,
the room.
he says.
Okay, lemon drop martini.
I'm just having
Oh,
coffee
sugar.
here, so it's supposed to be here now.
Yeah, Matt's drinking coffee because he's got to go back to work, he says.
What do you
I mean,
think?
I'm on the clock.
Yellow
Is
coffee.
that ever good?
What do you think?
Man. Oh, I love it.
It's not only really good, but I think it's dangerous.
It goes down pretty easily.
Dangerously good.
Dangerously good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go down so easy. We've been saying that about today's cocktails. You know, remember back in the day, your parents would let you have a sip of one, and
You
it
didn't
was
like
like, oh, that's like kerosene or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Today's cocktails are so delicious, and
Mhm.
you don't get any alcohol taste.
Never. So how can you get intoxicated then, right?
All right.
There must be none.
It's just
in
not there.
Yeah.
All right. Is this one of your
It
signature?
is. It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you say you've been working on this, so you've
Yep.
been tweaking it.
A little bit. We've, you have different bartenders that have a little bit of different ideas.
Mhm.
And again, so we kind of dabbed here and there and we came up with this one.
Okay.
And of course, now we have Matt here, and Matt's very well known in this area for being a chef that's just
Extraordinary.
extraordinaire. So
Ooh,
I'm guessing.
extraordinaire. I
Yeah.
like that in the title.
Chef
I want to change my title.
Okay, let me cross that out,
Yeah.
chef partner, and just go with extraordinary. Okay.
Anyway, so I imagine it's a lot of fun trying to pair drinks and stuff and beers with foods, and there's so much creative stuff going on that way.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. You know, we became a gastro pub because we're kind of leaning into beer to some degree, which means then that we would pair food with beer and have just a pub atmosphere that serves great beer and wine and everything else, great cocktails, with a really food focus.
So it's
good quality food.
It's possible that some of our listeners might not know what a gastro pub means. Obviously, gastro, I'm thinking food along with the pub and the pairings.
Exactly.
Is that what it is?
Basically, really cut and dry, it's a pub that serves great food. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you don't see gastro pub anywhere in the title. But
Why aren't there
it
more?
also
That's what I
stands
say.
out. There should be.
As it should be.
Fascinating. So I'd like to ask about the history because, and I don't know who wants to handle that, but Terri, maybe you can a little bit.
Sure.
Believe it or not, many, many years ago when I was a very young person playing softball, I played for a bar called the Chaparral. And it just happens to be right where your place is.
It is. It is. That burned down, and I don't know the specific year. And the owner at that time decided to rebuild it. And for whatever reason, they made the bar go back, sit a little bit further back. Mm-hmm. And he deemed it the Chaparral again. Yep. And then, unfortunately, his wife passed, and so he was left there to have the restaurant on his own. Yep. And he thought it was time to put it up for sale. And so then Luke and I, after retirement, decided to
let's do something simple.
Decided to dabble in something.
That's my favorite part of the interview.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
we just
after we retired. I love that.
After we retired, yeah. We decided that we couldn't sit still and we wanted to do something. So we found this wonderful little gem, and it just happened to be a hotel, a restaurant bar, and an event center. And we said, hey, we don't have any experience in it, but let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We jumped in. We didn't know what temperature it was or how deep it was, but we took the jump.
That's right.
And luckily, you didn't have to do any remodeling at all. Oh, wait.
Well, that's the thing. I remember seeing this crazy guy driving around on a Bobcat, and and you knew something good was happening.
Who is that crazy guy?
Well, that's Luke over there. The guy in the gallery.
Okay, the gallery. Okay.
Yeah.
The story behind it is it was Pam passed away. Yep. Randy was really overwhelmed with what was going on there. Yep. And we didn't have island money for retiring, so we had to fill the gap, the 10-year gap, we called it.
Yep.
And this is what we thought we'd do. I do have experience. My mom managed a municipal liquor store in a very small town, so I knew how to handle things.
It's really similar.
That's all you need.
That counts. That works. Yeah.
I popped caps on beer, and I poured some rail drinks, and I cooked some ham sandwiches in the microwave. So I had some experience, and also I bartended my way through college. So there was no experience about it, and I know how personable she is. She does a lot of the talking. And does it very well.
And they're disagreeing with you.
Exactly.
Right. And, I've actually been in your place at night, and I see you guys sitting over there, and I think you look like your mouth's moving quite a bit, actually. Every now and then. I mean, you're not. In a positive way, Luke, in a real positive way.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're just sitting there.
Well, I'm talking about what I need help with.
Yeah.
But you mentioned a Bobcat.
Yeah.
There's funny stories in the back. We built a outdoor wedding venue that includes a gazebo, a stamped concrete pathway, and the bride and the groom walk up through the woods, and it's paradise without a lake. We did a lot with the woods. We had no lake, so that's what I really went with, and that's where we came up with the woods name as well. Mm-hmm. I spent probably 4 months back there courting my wife, playing on the Bobcat.
Playing.
Just I finished, and now it's something we did.
That's something.
We did that, but for months I heard about what are you doing?
Another podcast.
Once again. Another podcast, probably. Yeah. And for those that have never been inside the woods, of course, the B-Merri at the Woods Gastro Pub. Mm-hmm. That's just an amazing piece of work there that I think Luke did it all, didn't he?
Luke had a lot of those thoughts.
And when you went with the woods theme, you really went with the woods theme, didn't you?
I actually found trees out of Bemidji. Most of it in there is local. I'm a farm boy by nature, and it's all I know is if I can't do it, it can't be done. And that's my and we did a lot of things that are unique. We brought actual trees into the bar to give it the wood look.
Yep.
Expanded the bar, opened it up, took walls down with extension cords around my waist. OSHA would not like what I did, but it got done. And yeah, it was just a process of one thing after another that led to where we're at now.
Yeah. And like Ken was saying, the inside there, I mean, and that's really evolved, even just in the last year and a half or whatever. I mean, now you got one of those really nice big garage door all glass that leads out to the patio. You put in this big beer rail. We're going to talk about this. It's just, I mean, if you haven't been up there for a while, you got to go because they are making major changes up here. And it's all, I mean, as soon as Matt came on and you really started, I live up that way. I can tell.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is just as important as the food and the service.
Yep.
I mean, it is because you're deciding for the night where to sit for 2 hours or more. And, the ambiance plays just as important of a role as food and service.
Absolutely.
So,
I can attest to that because we had the environment, we had the atmosphere, but we didn't have the food until we met Matt. And now it's hitting on all cylinders and we're seeing the results. But, I appreciate more about what he does than, I understand what's been done there because I lived it and struggled with it. My wife and I did for 5 years until Matt catapulted us 15 years ahead of time and a great reputation with him. And it's the people followed, staffing followed, and we couldn't be happier. And more blessed. And
good.
Well, I would say the feeling's absolutely mutual, and I'd like to use the analogy. I use this all the time of like a little island. Chefs get all the credit, because they're the most visible and they're going out to these different functions. But our whole crew is like outstanding, amazing. John Pulsifer's in the kitchen is the chef of the B-Merri.
Yep.
Tim Bullum is doing incredible work in banquets. Stephanie and Katie, PJ Overvold with our event coordinating and our decor. I mean, you just keep naming all the staff. And we all like to work with each other because we're all like-minded. We all work hard.
Yep.
But these guys built this place. Well, they've had it 5-6 years now. Now it's this little island poking out of the sea and look how pretty and shiny and everything. But the work to get it from underneath the ocean to where it is now, that's the real work that it took.
Oh.
And these guys did all the work like when it was hard.
Yeah.
Now it's somewhat easy. I mean, to hit the ground running.
But I think I'll say it again.
We all appreciate each other and what we all bring to the table because we all bring something.
And I'll say it again because anybody who stops by the woods always will spend time with their mouth open, looking at the woods, the trees. The patio is so beautiful. You continue to add to that. The glass door, like you say, to just open it up and let the air in the summer. I mean, it is everything. It is gorgeous. Now, I want to talk a little bit more, Matt. You come in, you've got just a phenomenal reputation. You're a great chef. There's no doubt about that. But now when you start to pair things, how does that work? Do you work with a specific bartender? Are these two kind of involved in the alcohol side of that? You do the food and say, come up with something along this. How does that work?
Well, it's we all contribute. So we get together. We have a managers meeting every week, and everyone puts their 2 cents in. Me, everyone does. And the best ideas raised to the top. And that's how it should work. And everyone's welcome to the meetings, if you're in management, and that role changes, frequently. And we all get to have a say, and because everyone there has good ideas. And we're lucky that way. And we really look to hire that way because it's really all on the hire. Building the team is the most important part of any organization, especially restaurants and bars. And if you can find and assemble a good team, and we're lucky to have been able to do that, then it's kind of all downhill from there. And it doesn't matter about whose idea it is. It's just, that's a good idea.
Right.
As far as pairing food and any kind of the drinks, the beer, the wine, or what have you, we do all kinds of events. We have one actually coming up. We're teaming with 5 Rocks and the distillery in town.
5 Rocks has been on Pubcast Live a few weeks back. So
we're getting a great jazz band from the cities, and we're going to do 5 courses with 5 Rocks. So I made old supper club standards and reinventing them. The Harvey Wallbanger bun cake, right? The beef Wellingtons and Oscars. And so we're doing different courses, and we're going to pair it with their signature cocktails. And with jazz music and old, like, blue light, smoky room, cool cocktails. We're going to have just an awesome night just because. Yeah. So they'll be a part of pairing the food and the drinks together there. But our bartenders are great. They're all rising to the occasion.
Continue to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. That's the other thing I've noticed about your place up there is you guys aren't afraid to, you're not afraid to take chances and bold things. I mean, but that's cool.
It is. And that's how you're going to learn.
Not only on the food side but on the outside, you're just doing, and I've noticed you're doing some new patio stuff on one side. There's going to be new outdoor stuff happening.
Luke's building that. He's got his bobcat.
Yeah, he's playing on his bobcat.
It's awesome, but it's great.
He's just playing. But I mean, and your patio is just really cool out there too. You got that big fire pits. I mean, wide open. You have bands there. Yeah. And then out front, I see you're doing all these you're going to be growing all your own herbs, and you see that right when you come up. Yep. It's just you're constantly changing that place, and I love that because, like I say, you're not resting on your laurels. If anything, if anything, you're just starting. So.
I would say in some ways we even grew through COVID.
Yeah,
it forced us and many people to get creative and unique and inventive.
And I like your island analogy too, because for our listeners that don't know, I mean, where the woods is, if that's possible, you're north on 3, and there's not, you're kind of it up there for a while, right? I mean, you're not very far out of Brainerd at all.
The name B-Merri Gastro Pub is significant because it's our location. So B is Brainerd, the star is where you are, and then Merri is Merrifield.
So we're in between.
So Brainerd, Merrifield.
And
that's where you are, the B-Merri Gastro Pub. So eat, drink, be merry.
So
you learn something.
I know that's not a Pubcast exclusive. Probably everyone but me knows that, but that's clever.
That's Matt. So,
Matt
and I have been reined back by my wife.
So the Merri is Merrifield.
The ideas fly with Matt and I.
Okay. They fly.
So anyway, just head north on 3.
Yep.
Past the lights. If you're familiar with Brainerd, the old Potlatch area and stuff like that, just keep going through the lights, and you're just up there on the east side of the road.
Yeah,
not too far.
It is wonderful.
9 miles south of Breezy. It's 6 miles north of Brainerd.
Yeah, and
everyone thinks it's kind of out there and it's a distance. It's really not.
No,
it's only just because it's not around a lot of other things.
But that's why it's an island.
5 minutes from Brainerd. It's from Baxter. I think it's 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Yeah. It's not far at all.
For dinner, that's an easy little drive.
Yeah.
All right. We mentioned this, and I want to get back to it for a moment. And Luke, I don't know if you want to handle this, but the new tap system. Now, when we're not drinking lemon drop
martinis,
which mine is actually gone.
His is gone.
Wow.
Ours is gone,
That
Luke.
happened fast, didn't it? That was really good. Yeah.
I'm busy talking.
Ken's been busy talking.
But I'm going to have some more. But let's segue to that. The new tap system. This is pretty cool.
We've utilized Pour My Beer, who is one of the innovators of the auto tap system. My wife and I traveled through Kansas City probably 6 years ago and discovered this system at the airport. And everybody was sitting around socializing and talking about the beers they were tasting. And Terri and I, it was all new to us. Asked a lot of questions and got answers and left that. And something I want to do for 6 years since we've experienced it. And the timing wasn't right. And we had it in the back burner. I was talking to the Pour My Beer company for 5 years, negotiating.
And we thought it was interesting, Luke, how many Pour My Beer are there in Minnesota?
There's actually 3, and there's one in Duluth, and there's one actually in St. Paul. We confronted with them in regards to a lot. They provide a lot of information for us before we actually did this system. And then there's, I think locally there's a system
something
like
similar, right?
Similar, but anyhow, this is a very unique system, and it allows us to take in. There's plenty of local breweries that don't have a chance to get their beer out there. They're too small for distributors, and my idea was to partner with them and just allow them to have an off-site tap house, basically, is what it's become. Mm-hmm. It is all automated. It communicates with our POS system. It's on your tab at the end. It charges only by the ounce, so you don't have to commit to any 16-ounce beer without knowing how it tastes.
So let's describe to a person quickly how that. I mean, I've done it. I've been there. You get it looks like a credit card. You basically get a card.
Your server or the bartender can get that for you.
And every tap on that rail has a
screen
spot to insert your card or whatever, a screen, right? And you slide your card in, and you can pour 2 ounces of that beer if you want. You can pour 8. Mm-hmm. If it's the beer you've chosen, you can pour your 16, whatever it is. And then you can, it just, at the end, it's a tab. Basically, you have a tab on this card. Right?
And exactly. And you can pour a flight. If your table doesn't know, what they want, just like anything else, they can go up there, they can pour the flight and go back to their table and try it.
One of my favorite things of this rail thing.
This is brilliant.
I love your tie-in to the local, the ones that can't get distribution. I mean, we have so many great local people working hard to do all this. And it's just nice that you're stepping up and helping them have a tap somewhere. I mean, everyone wants that. But what I love so much is when I come into your place, I can go up and pour like 8 ounces of something, sit at my table. My server takes my order. Whereas in the old days, or usually they say, do you want a beer? Yes. Well, they bring you the whole, whatever it is, if it's a 12 or 16. So now you got the whole thing. And then the meal comes. I mean, you can time it with your meal. I just love that. You're in control. Yep. Instead of
and the neat thing about the screens are right by the beer. If you tap on the screen, it will give you kind of the history of that beer and what it's made out of, so you can learn about the different beers actually on the tap.
Yeah, so if you haven't done this, folks, you got to do this. It's really cool. And how many taps are there? I mean,
there's 10, Thor, and you had mentioned the control that you have, and it's a very important, especially in these COVID times.
Yeah,
I actually call it the self-control. Not self-serve.
Yeah.
Because there's a sanitary station where you can use gloves and tissues, and you can clean your hands. So you're in control of that. Mm-hmm. And, it's as clean as you want it to be.
Right.
So that aspect, it's really helped. And also it takes pressure off your waitress and your bartenders. Now the focus can be on the food.
Yeah, right on.
And the mixed drinks. And the people that want to try the beer have the control to do an ounce, 16 ounces, or flights like Terri had mentioned.
Do you have a tap with lemon drop martinis? Because
that's a good segue into our next venture, which is a distillery part of our local connection. 5 Rocks.
Yeah.
We're working with them on
the meals
featuring their products.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the local rail, and it's going to be
with signature cocktails again.
With signature cocktails. Wow. So they'll help.
Wait a minute. So I get my cocktail comes off the rail? No,
not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
This would just be the bottle presentation of their products. They do the gins, they do the vodkas. Yep. So there will be available a local rail exclusively for our local spirit distributors.
Yeah.
And these cocktails will be made out of that.
Yeah. That is so cool.
We will have, at what Nat mentioned, the jazz event we have, there will be a mixologist there that will create these drinks. And
they'll be
experiment.
Yep, they'll have representation there. They'll talk about their product. It's going to be a fun event.
No kidding.
But I think about the tap system as like a cherry berry for adults. That's the way I see it. Should probably have garnishes on there too.
Exactly.
It's really, I just want to say what the coolest part to me is supporting your fellow local businesses here in the Lakes area. And that is really special because you're really all in it together. And it's all about socializing and getting people out to enjoy the treasures that we have right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
I've been deep into local since I started being a chef up here. Great to team up with these guys because they are too. They're all about helping the local producers. Just a great way to do business because it's good for them, it's good for us, good for the community. That's a special thing that we have going on there.
Yeah, and like 10 years ago, that didn't even exist.
Right.
There was no such thing.
Right.
I mean, none of us knew. We've had Jack Pine on this show. That's one of our local breweries. Nobody knew what that even was, a brewery, or in your own town, or a microbrewery. So it's 10 years ago that didn't even exist, and now that's just great. You're working on all that, and they all need. It's nice that you're. I mean, it helps you. It's not like you're doing it just for them. I mean, it's just great for you. It's good business.
And it's great for the consumer. Your customers have such great choices now.
Yep.
And especially, like you say, you can tap the glass and see, oh, this has got this
Made
hint
like
of
that.
this, and it's got that. And
feel like it happy if you don't. I mean, you can look at all that, and the screen will tell you, and which is awesome.
Yeah, the talent around us, whether it's a distillery or a producer of honey or farm goods or whatever it is, to not use the talent that we have in our own neighborhood would be kind of ridiculous. I mean, we have such great producers here.
Now, this special event with Five Rocks.
Yep.
You said, oh, yeah, we got this one coming up. I know you guys do these special things all the time, don't you?
We had...
we did the dueling pianos.
We did a murder mystery. Yep. And we're
COVID slowed it down, obviously. But we do cooking classes,
the
sushi
whole murder
demos.
Business slowed down during
COVID.
Yeah, really did.
Right.
Dang it.
People get a little, they're drinking a little bit too much these days. And
it happened to everybody. Don't worry.
No, it did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But and again, if we want to take it the opposite end of the spectrum, it's like we have all this internally, but what Matt brought to us is the whole other kind of venue of offsite catering. So Matt just last Saturday, he went to somebody's home and he prepared a whole meal and, just asked them what they wanted, and he can create kind of whatever they want.
Yeah. We'll do 2,000 people offsite, a state away. Multiple course dinner, or we'll come into your house and right in our own neighborhood and do a sushi demo or whatever, and everything in between. And we have a strong catering team and presence at the Woods. But I would say by far the most experience when you add up all the people working for us. That I've ever seen. Yeah. And everyone has a strength too. Like John, he's in the kitchen, he's smoking and briskets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
And everyone has a talent. And we use that we play to people's strengths as far as who's on the staff. And we can do a lot of things. We can do a ton of damage in this town, and we're doing some really, really fun, interesting things.
If you've got a wedding coming up, or you got any event like that.
Oh my gosh, the weddings there are phenomenal. We had my daughter's wedding was incredible in your, what do you call it?
Gazebo.
The gazebo that is an amazing thing to see on its own.
Yep.
Luke was just playing around.
Yeah, he was.
It was just Matt playing. He was just playing.
Okay, he was playing,
didn't
but
really mean
gorgeous.
Anything.
And it just turned out so well. And you have a lot of weddings up there.
We do.
We remodeled the event center, and Luke was the foreman, and we all worked for Luke, and we all learned how to paint and put up drywall or whatever. PJ overall did.
I guess what I'm saying is, if you're having your wedding and it's not at the Woods, though,
give us a call.
The catering end,
please.
Exactly.
That's true.
Because, like you say, you can do up to a full wedding to just a single family or whatever.
Matt just met with somebody the other day. This summer, we're doing a huge offsite, correct?
Yeah, it's in Motley, 300 people.
Nice.
Multiple courses, fun, great.
And you got lots of these resorts that have a big families come up, big family reunions, and they're always looking for an option. So if you're a resort owner or something like that, and you happen to be listening to this, there's an option.
So Terri and I had 3 daughters that were married, and we spent a lot of hard-earned money on those weddings. So part of what prompted us to do this was that aspect of the business we bought. It's affordable. It's between a VFW and the more elite places in town. There's a lot of room, and it's affordable without any sacrifice of the bells and whistles.
And there's a lot of people that want that. They're not looking for the fancy.
You want some good memories, some good food, and good service, Yeah. And I think that's kind of what we tried to capture.
We want it to be affordable, but them to turn around and go, wow, what a value that was.
Right on.
Everything was excellent.
That's exactly what our family said.
Oh, that's nice.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, I got to ask. So, how many of these lemon drop martinis, I'm asking Terri now, did Matt and Luke have when they came up with a giant inflatable movie screen?
Oh, my God.
How many was this before that idea? Yeah.
No, it's so funny because, again, Luke and Matt have this mind that just doesn't shut off. They just don't. They constantly go.
What you're saying is when they both put them together, they have one mind.
Dangerous.
They are very dangerous. Okay. And they keep saying it and I just go, oh my gosh, just a minute here. But the funny part is Luke had talked about this when we first started, he kept saying, gosh, wouldn't this be great for like a movie? I was like, whoa. Just slow down. Just
go play on your
bike. Oh yeah. We just got to relax a little bit here. Right. Well, of course, then Matt comes on and adds a little gas to this little fire thing. And it was his dream too.
It actually was reversed. Matt came up with the idea. I threw the fire on it.
Well, true, but because it was already there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, to be honest about it, Christy Larson was behind the bar and she goes, hey, Matt, remember that drive-in movie theater? So really, at the Woods, it probably was originally your idea.
If our listeners weren't confused bore who to blame.
I know. We spread
totally
the wealth,
confused now.
Exactly.
Somebody's to blame, and we don't really care.
Here's the bottom line is when COVID hit, our whole team got together and we're like, what should we do to confront this? Because you can't just close up shop.
Right.
You can get inventive, creative. It can force ourselves to do some unique things here. And this whole movie theater was born, and we decided, okay, it's tough for us to do now, obviously, tough for anyone to do in this environment. Let's go to the public, and if the public wants it, they'll get it. We'll put the work in, we'll do it, but we're going to need some help from funding in the public, so we crowdfunded it. And I don't know how much money we raised between the public and different sponsors, but it was a lot, and enough to put up the screen, to buy a screen, ship it from Germany, a projector, all the infrastructure, the popcorn machine, everything else. So here comes a drive-in movie theater now. We've never put a drive-in movie theater together. None of us really knew how to do that. I mean, we'll figure it out eventually, and we are, but...
Do you remember when I said they weren't afraid to take chances?
Yeah, I know.
We don't.
I know.
Right. So we painted the lot, and everyone, there's a slot. You pull into number 26, for instance. It fits 70 cars. And you get on your phone, and we have an app. You type it in the B-Merri Gastro Pub, and here's our menu. We deliver food right to your vehicle. So there's guys eating steaks, women having bruschetta platters, and they're watching, what was the movie you liked? Pretty Woman or whatever. I don't know. Whatever we decide to show.
Do you remember when Terri was going to roller skate the food out?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
She got her roller skates.
I did.
She put them on, stood up, and...
I said, whoops.
Wait a minute. This is a true story?
This is a true story.
Right.
Well, I grew up in a roller rink, right? So when you have a drive-in, you always saw servers with roller skates, right? Yeah. Well, why couldn't I do that?
Well, you could.
Carrying food and drinks.
What could go wrong?
Yep. Like I said, let's take a chance.
But a couple more things. So Luke extended the patio so that adults could be on the patio having
cocktails,
our beverages, these lemon drops while families are segregated in the parking lot with their families, no alcohol allowed in the parking lot. And then, we have a concession stand with all the usual suspects, popcorn and candy and what have you also. But then, on top of it, we also had a food tie-in to every movie to make it a foodie drive-in, and that exists nowhere. So here's an example. Kung Fu Panda's playing, and we were rolling sushi. Or The Great Outdoors, and we do barbecue. I use these all the time, but just so you can kind of visualize.
How about Star Wars?
Star Wars
served there.
Oh boy, I did once Star Wars sushi, and we had the little TIE fighter wasabis and all this different stuff. Okay. We'll pull it off.
Here, I was just trying to be a smart aleck, and
but
he had
came
an answer.
Back, didn't he?
Dang it!
May the 4th be with
you. But as you did that for the pandemic, that was almost survival mode. Is it coming back?
Yeah, we're going to do it to some degree.
Yep, at some flavor.
We hired someone to run it.
Yep. We would like to. It's fun, and people enjoyed it. Yes. They loved it. Yes. The coolest part, I think, is we had an organization, actually CTC, rented it for their employees. Oh, fun. And they took the whole theater. They picked the movie. Their employees came out for the night, and they all watched a movie as the employees from a company. So that was awesome.
Well, there's some of us of a certain age. Okay, me.
Certainly.
But we grew up with the drive-in theaters. It was so fun.
I know.
Yeah.
And they were out mingling. They had lawn chairs out by their cars and eating their popcorn and, visiting with the car next to you. And it was, and the thing we should mention, the only difference about that is remember how you had to have the speaker by the window?
Right.
Well, now it's the same thing.
It's
on your radio in your car.
Yeah. Oh,
so the
mosquitoes
mosquitoes don't have that little
crevice to get in.
Space to get in, which they can find. I don't know what the heck.
Yeah, but Luke's out there spraying for mosquitoes though too. So those
he's
should be.
He's just on his bobcat.
Is he on the bobcat?
He's just messing around. He's not really working.
He's got another machine on his back with that one.
Yeah, okay.
Another toy.
So I'll ask. It's just a natural question when the drive-in. Have you caught anybody in the trunk yet?
We decided, no, it's going to be a car charge,
Sure.
Turn it into a clown car for all we care. Have 50 people in there. It doesn't matter. As long as you're, adhering to the law and we don't get in trouble on our end.
How do you know about that?
What?
Someone in the
trunk.
trunk.
Cars? I was at the circus as a kid. All right.
Your parents are very proud, right?
We're talking about this, the theater and all. I mean, obviously, people have to get a hold of the Woods. They got to be able to get a hold of you, and I bet it's not too hard, right? You've got a nice website. Yep. What's your website? Just www.thewoodsmn.com. Okay, thewoodsmn.com. And you just put 2 W's in front of there, but I think there's 3.
Right? Sorry. Okay. Too many lemon drop martinis.
You don't even need to do that anymore.
You don't even need them anymore.
I'm just kidding. I was just having
fun.
We have a lot going on, so obviously going to the website and checking, or even our Facebook
page has a lot of stuff.
You can finally decide. We decide when things are going to actually funnel out, what days and everything.
That's what I'm saying. That's how people can. I mean, right here we can talk about it, but if someone says, "Well, this theater, when do they have it?" Well, we can't talk about that here, but just go to the Woods.
It's tricky
mn.com or your Facebook page. What's your just The Woods?
Just The Woods, yep.
The Woods is on your Facebook page.
Yep.
It's tricky because now we're heading into wedding season, so our event center and therefore our parking lot is taken up on weekends.
Sure.
So
we're looking at weekdays, we're looking at a company party. So there's things for us to map out and figure out.
Well, and everyone understands that they're not expecting it all. It's just even in the fall, if you start it up again and have a great time through the fall season, you know?
Yeah.
We got support from the public and they want, but we're going to do our best and we're going to do a really cool thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, real quick, signature events. Do you have any that we should mention?
Mini Jam.
Mini Jam
is a playoff Lakes Jam. We've partnered with the Lakes Jam people, and they're very supportive in regards to this. It's 2 weeks before the actual Lakes Jam event, and what we do, we call it Mini Jam. It showcases Minnesota bands. Again, the local concept, but we do have 3 featured acts, and they all will play at 4, 6, and then 9. It will be in the parking lot. It's also a benefit for Smiles for Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
We do support the school with this event as well. We've sent some check to the school. Last year was canceled because of COVID, but we did do this 1 year, and we learned a lot from it. It's going to be handled by the Huff Entertainment group, which we're happy about because we met with them and they're very professional, and it takes a lot of pressure off Terri and I and the staff. And it's June 12th.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to it. It's
hoping for nice weather, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun. Just again for the local people to come on out, see some great entertainment, and enjoy it. Sit on the patio, have a burger if you want. Listen to some music. There'll be a few alcoholic beverages if you prefer, and it's just a fun time.
We'll have a lemon drop martini.
Yeah,
I gotta say.
I know for one, I'm hungry for live music. It's been a long time, and our hearts go out to those people as well. I know they have a lot of struggles.
Had to be struggling.
And we'll have a lot of patio entertainment, and that will be available on our website in regards to dates.
Right.
But this mini jam, I'm hoping to see 300-400 people at. And it's in the parking lot. It's outdoors. We'll have a stage, and it's basically a mini Lakes Jam.
And I like the way you tie it in and give back to the community. And I know you do other charitable events as well. So that's really cool because it is good to give back, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just.
I know Matt spends a lot of time with the food kitchen. I know that he's got us involved in that.
Sure, Red Soup Kitchen,
Yeah.
In regards to the community, he's brought a lot to us in regards to helping out, especially in this industry, and I've learned a lot about how and what we can do. And, we're both, I'm from a small town, Terry's from a typically small town, and we understand how important community is, and it really is.
Right.
Well, I think we're going to have you back because we've just kind of started to scratch the surface here, and we're
going to run out of time. Wait a minute. Now, there's one thing. We've had these delicious lemon drop martinis.
There's something behind Matt.
Yeah.
Matt brought a box of something here, too.
I actually feel bad because we haven't dipped into this yet, but my God.
I know.
Oh, look at that.
How long would it take me to describe
I'm going to give you a demo here. This
All right.
What do you do? You just go like...
This is sushi.
I have a big box of sushi here.
Matt, every Tuesday.
But I don't know
there's chopsticks somewhere. But every Tuesday, Matt is busy.
So this is just...
Sushi is rice and vinegar.
Right.
Most people think it's raw fish, but it doesn't have to be. It tends to be many times. But this is a beef tataki, so that's a rare seared, we'll say, beef.
I'm going right for that.
Those shrimp are deep fried. So we sell anywhere between, 35 and 50 of these platters every Tuesday. We produce it only on Tuesdays because we want to do a good job of it. And they're hugely popular, and it's a great deal.
Let's be really slow about talking. You just said every Tuesday you do what now? You make
platters.
We make these platters to eat in, dine in, or to go.
Okay, so if I come up there, I don't have to order ahead. I come in and there might be...
It's good to order
I would
ahead.
suggest ordering ahead.
Call ahead if you like sushi.
And you can either take it home or dine in with your platter.
Come pick it up, take it home to your company or your guest. Or come on in and get your platter and then have a seat. Go to the rail.
Matt, what's the third item
he's got...
on here?
So that's not everything on there is technically sushi. We'll just say it is Asian inspired or Japanese inspired. Those are spring roll wrapped prawns that have been skewered like a satay with a special sauce. Those are scalloped nigiri. That's a lobster salad, maki. Maki is a sushi roll. Anyway, it's usually 5 to 6 items, all with different condiments and everything. And you got to call ahead in a way because they do go fast.
And
I can see why.
Yeah, he creates something different almost every Tuesday.
Yeah.
He also teaches classes on how to do this as well.
Yeah, we do sushi classes and demos in-house and on our site.
All right, once again, get to their website, get to their Facebook page, explore all this stuff. Because this is amazing. And I love sushi.
Delicious.
I don't eat a lot of it, but now...
Yeah.
I just learned something. I just learned that this is this available.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I'll say, just speaking from the food end of it, because I'm the chef.
Right.
Here's a good example of the food area of the woods, why it's doing, different, so well in business. I do this kind of thing, right? Now we have John who took over in the kitchen. He's smoking brisket. He smokes, 5 or 6 different things. His own salmon, chickens, wings, we're making our own pastrami.
And those are all really hard to keep lit, too.
Yeah. And he's a tremendous butcher. And now we have Tim Bullum. He heads up all our caterings. He can produce anything like by himself. He's like really amazing. Caleb, all the guys in the kitchen have a talent. And we use all those talents. We're not just kind of one thing. We're a multitude of things. And so and the same with the front of the house, that we can draw on everyone's skills in the front and the back and do unique things like this.
See, but this is really
what are you
good.
tasting there? Which one is that?
What am I having here?
So that's rare sea ahi tuna and avocado. That's a real simple, basic maki roll inside out. That's ponzu, which is, think of it as soy with citrus in it.
Okay.
Soy
I love
sauce.
soy.
Or there's the
I
green
know to
stuff.
stay away from that one, though. I know.
Wasabi, yeah.
I think
We'll do the wasabi challenge when we're off the air.
Oh, my God. That stuff gets me.
I'm going to need another lemon drop martini before the wasabi challenge.
Oh, my God. That's so good. I'm done.
Yeah. Thor's over here eating the whole box by himself. And, folks, again, I'm just going to say it. Just a pleasure to have you here to talk about the food, the wonderful venues that you're putting together, and of course, just the great lineup of not only food but wonderful beverages. We thank you for being here today to talk about the woods. and we will see you there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks.
you.
Our pleasure.
Luke and Terri Ebnet are the owners. Matt Annand is the chef partner with them at the Woods. And that, of course, includes B-Merri at the Woods Gastro Pub, Gather on 3 Event Center and Catering, and the Retro Drive-In Movie Theater. Watch the Facebook page for that one.
Right.
That will do it for this segment of Pubcast Live.
Oh, my word. I can't stop eating sushi. I have never eaten. Well, a lot of people are very much, know a lot more about this than me, but that was amazing.
That is the best I've ever had. That's all I'm going to say right there.
And Luke mixed us up the lemon drops.
Lemon drop martini.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, now there is a summer drink that you will really enjoy. Holy
I'm
mackerel.
super impressed by this facility. I have actually ever since they bought it. I mean, Luke and Terri originally bought it years ago. It was always a great place. We always loved going to the Shap and stuff, but we all know that evolved.
Yeah.
And they've just always been working so hard. You can just see it when you're driving by on the road. They're always changing, but man, I am super, super impressed.
Yeah, I'm going to call Luke one of the hardest working guys I've ever seen in the bar and restaurant industry.
Well, he's not really working, according to Terri. He's just playing,
Okay.
out on his Bobcat and skid steer. And
he
building.
plays well.
Yeah, he plays hard.
And Chef Matt Annand is just phenomenal with the food, and they've really got it all going on. So I just want to say, for anybody that is in the Brainerd Lakes area, you have to make a stop at B-Merri at the Woods Gastro Pub.
Yep.
Now with that tap system and the 5 rocks that they've added.
Coming in with the cocktail
whole 5 rocks rail. Yeah,
just a lot of fun stuff going. It's a great place to swing in, and you're going to be very comfortable. Just swing on in as you are. Plenty of parking.
And if you like patios for enjoying food and or libations, this is, I think, one of the premier patios in the Brainerd Lakes area.
Great stop. Even if you're just in town here, but especially if you're heading up north towards the Cross Lake area, anything like that, just plan your trip. Plan to drive, get to the Woods, and start your whole vacation right there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What a fun show that was.
And you can find out, like we said, about all their places, thewoodsmn.com, correct?
Thewoodsmn.com.
Yep.
That's the website, yeah. You will
find out about all it there. And, of course, we love to hear from you all the time on Pubcast Live. Get a hold of us on our website, pubcast.live. Keep those emails coming. Keep the letters. Keep the comments coming on the Facebook pages. We're at Pubcast Live on Facebook. It's just a lot of fun. We're having a great time. We're just hitting our stride and having a lot of fun, but we love to hear from you. So by all means, let us know how we're doing and give us suggestions.
Yeah. Thor, I had just one last question before we wrap up. We've never had somebody back twice. I'm just saying.
Well, like I said, we haven't even scratched the surface, I don't think, with these people. There's a lot going on up there. I mean, we went from movie theaters to sushi to bobcats. I mean, there's a lot happening. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of our guests, it's just like we've had a lot of great guests. It's been so much fun, and we'd love to have them back again, and we'll get to that.
You know what the other thing I like is you and I are finding out, even though we've been to these places,
right?
We're finding out so many cool things about them as we do this show, Pubcast Live.
Yeah, it's no secret to our listeners that Ken and I have been to a lot of these places before. But yeah, the sushi, the whole sushi thing, I'm just not looking for sushi in my life, but now all of a sudden I am on Tuesdays.
And martinis have just been added to my lineup, too.
I feel sorry for all the beers I love. For all the beers I love. Here comes the martinis. Yeah, that's
okay, listen, stick to podcasting and leave the singing to some. Stick to podcasting, leave the singing to somebody else. I'll tell you what, that was a fun show, and we hope to have you back, and we can't wait to do our next edition of Pubcast Live.